The times that I think that I'm not improving and I get down on myself, I just have to stop it. There's no need for it. I mean, I look at what I'm doing. I'm being consistent. I'm putting in the miles. I'm doing the hard work. I'm showing up for myself. When the temperature's just too hot and I can't think and it's just like all consuming and I get down, you just have to know when it cools off, the fitness is there. As the cooler temperatures come, and they will, that things are going to be okay. You know, I still have to remind myself of this. Here's the problem with eating too much sugar. Sure, it may taste really great, and sure, it is readily available everywhere. It comes in all forms of shapes and sizes and is hidden in so many different types of foods and treats, and it comes in naturally, and there's so many different names for it. But I find it's very detrimental for me. And I am working very hard at changing my lifestyle, losing, like I have a bit of weight to lose, and I'm not ashamed to share my adventure online, because hopefully it inspires somebody like you to get out and run and to move your body, or to get out and cycle or something along those lines. We are trapped in a society where big corporations make a ton of money off of the products that we consume. And I'm done marching to their tune, marching towards oblivion, to be quite honest. And as I get older, I want to be able to live longer. I don't want to just kind of throw my hands up and quit. I am no quitter. I like to work through things, become better. I want my running to become better. I want to be where I was a number of years ago when I ran my ultra marathon. I want to be epic. I want to be back to that guy. I'm halfway there. I got a long way to go, but I know it can be done. So if you are in a situation where you've got some weight to lose, you're sick and tired of your life cycling through these yo-yos of weight gain and weight loss, you know, starting one diet to just hop onto another diet, you know, being attached to, you know, a term of dieting, whether you're a carnivore diet or you're a vegan diet, a vegetarian, paleo, Mediterranean, like, I'm sure there's many more. But what I'm trying to tell you is you are defined by no one. You are defined by your thoughts and what you believe. And sometimes we get stuck in a rut and we're so focused on what we believe that when we look at the information that's coming our way and we're like, wait a minute, that doesn't fit my narrative. I can't believe this. That's what's known as being closed-minded. I've been open-minded and I've been closed-minded over my life. And when it comes to, you know, becoming a better version of yourself through fitness, there's so many gurus that tell you to do this or that or the other, or eating this way is going to be the best way to lose weight, or you shouldn't eat high carb, low fat, or you should maybe eat high fat, low carb, or vegans don't get enough protein, or you got to eat less carbohydrates, or like there's so many of those things, but it's like, put it in real food thoughts. Like, tell me, okay, carbohydrates aren't a lot of things. So which carbohydrates am I quitting, right? Like, I'm going to eat broccoli, cauliflower, leafy greens, right? Tomatoes, you know, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, like good quality food that is carbohydrates, and I'm going to get rid of the sodas and the pops and the candy bars and the massive amount of bread that we consume as a society. And maybe a little bit less pasta, maybe a little bit less rice. Now I have a solution that I'm working on that can help me lose the weight. So let's talk about what the solution is and what I'm gonna do to combat this whole eating crap. This is a video series of ditching sugar, changing your life, becoming a better runner, becoming a better version of you, becoming a person who is knowledgeable and can make their own decisions as to what goes in their body without big corporations telling you what you need to do and what you should eat. I'm done with that. If you are too, follow along on this series of videos. And I hope it helps you because clearly I'm working on it, hopefully helping myself. If you have a tough time resisting cookies on the conference table, look, you're not alone. And it's no secret that a lot of Americans and Canadians and Europeans eat way more sugar than we should be. While it's tempting to blame your dessert habit, the simple fact that sweet food tastes awesome, and I like sweet food, and it's very psychologically powerful, right? And look, there are far more physical, mental, and even emotional factors that send us searching for sweetness. And, I want you to consider the following. Now, we have to talk about hormones, because if we're not talking about them, then we're also missing the point of being able to sustainably eat healthy. Because when ghrelin starts calling, it's time to eat. Look, it's hormones. When you're hungry, your gut hormones like glucagon, like peptide, ghrelin, insulin, they basically beg you to source out food. And these hormones are secreted by your stomach and your bowels, and they send signals to your brain that control your hunger and cravings. Also, how full you are after a meal. Sugars like glucose and fructose, these are literally like gasoline, and they burn up fat and they give you a burst of energy, right? But if you eat too much sugar, and they become accustomed to the quick hits of energy, and then you literally want more. Now you have to also realize that our brains are programmed to use glucose as fuel. That's just the way the body works. The brain uses glucose for probably about 95% of the time, and the other 5% comes from glucamine or amino acids. Now you might crave sugar because your brain is low on glucose. Now, using your sweets as an emotional crutch. Look, it isn't your imagination that chocolate bar really is making you forget about your troubles. But, sweets produce a hedonic response in the hippocampus that activates dopamine as a reward system. Now, the increase in dopamine can address emotional pain. I can attest to that. Alcohol and drugs activate the same dopamine reward system, which is why some people abuse them. There have been studies that have shown that this is to be true. Look, and here's the thing. Do you want cheesecake or do you want a leafy green salad when you're in emotional pain? I'm siding on cheesecake as far as I'm concerned. But, you do you and I do me, right? So this one's a hard one. Childhood patterns are hard to break, and I am working at breaking them. But here's the thing. So if you are rewarded with sweets as a child, or if sweets were a form of punishment, you may have grown up associated with the forbidden sweets with pleasure. So to further complicate the matters, the brain comes to associate sweets with comfort, nurturing, and love. On a neurological level, feel-good neurochemicals are released once the treat is obtained, and this loop further reinforces the craving, eating, and reward cycle. So yeah, it's no wonder I am where I am at the moment. All of these things have been triggers for me over the last little while. So here's the good thing that I will tell you. There is something that you can do about this. And I'm going to go into that right now. So this is what you can do. You can build your meals and snacks around slower digesting fuel sources like proteins. So if you're eating sweets, what I'm doing is I'm building my meals and snacks around slower digesting fuel sources like proteins. If eating sweets is like throwing newspaper on a fire, protein is the log. That's the way I look at it. Your hormones will then send signals to your brain to help you feel more satisfied with the amount and type of food you're eating. right? So this is gonna lead to fewer cravings for the quick burning sweets. Now, since our brain uses 95% sugar, and your body may crave this, one of the things that I've been turning towards more is fruits that have so much fiber in them. Like, I like berries, right? Like, I like strawberries, I like blueberries, and I like raspberries. Those ones there seem to work really well. They're very satisfying, and I get the hit of sugar that I need, but I get a slow release of it because of the fiber. Look, it's natural. So I'm not gonna cut those things out because I do know that it will satisfy my sweet tooth. Now, when it comes to emotional pain, I gotta learn how to eat proactively and not reactively, right? Trying to use planning sheets to organize your eating schedule for the next day or even the whole week. I've been thinking about creating printable ones that you guys can download, but I'll have to let you guys know when that's available. So when you have your planning meals worked out, you're more likely to stay on target and resist the urge to grab food, like fast food, packaged food, which will contain pretty much a lot of sugar. So to deal with a lot of the childhood patterns, so I'm going to begin by replacing food rewards with healthy but equally pleasurable ones, such as, like, let's say, after a workout, you go for a swim, or after a workout, you get a massage, or after a workout, you do something fun, right? And just something to distract yourself and disarm yourself from doing something else. For example, when I'm in a bad mood, I literally will sit down and do push-ups or sit-ups or something along those lines because I know that it can help me and it works fairly well. That's where things stand. So this is my third part of my series of stopping the cravings from happening. And if you're tuning in for the first time, go back in the comments below to number 1. Number 2 should be there. And this is number 3. More to come. Right behind me is Island Lake. This is man-made. This was man-made in 1969. And this is flipping awesome, right? This is close to home, right? I can get out for a walk between appointments. And usually there's a lot of people here, but I'm kind of coming at an off time. People I think are on their way home from work. I'm on my way to an appointment, but I've got like an hour and a half still. So I thought just kind of getting close to water, fill up my cup. It would be able to help. Plus, I can get this video out for you guys as we share and go along on this adventure together. Accountability. It's 5 in the morning and I'm just pulling out of my driveway. Gonna go ride. I've come today to visit a friend of mine in Island Lake. Paul was a runner. Paul, who has passed away now, was out running at Island Lake where I am. And he was walking back to his house one morning a number of years ago and he ended up collapsing. Somebody saw it happen and they came to his rescue and he was taken to the hospital. But as it turned out, Paul had lost like a lot of weight. Like he had a lot of weight on him at one point in his life. But his habits, I guess, didn't, certain habits didn't change, or he caused a lot of problems while he was, fat and overweight, because his arteries were blocked. He had a triple bypass and all of his arteries were blocked. And my heart was like, it was shattered. Like I'd been running with him before and we had done races together and such an amazing guy. And, he was a Boston marathoner and he was a skinny rail eventually. Like, how does this happen? Problem is we make decisions in our life that affect the inside of our body that we can't see. You may be skinny, later on in life because you've lost a lot of weight. Dave, I'm talking to you, me. That was me, overweight, fat, not happy, eating all the wrong foods. So before I started running, I went for an EKG to check my heart, make sure everything was good. Turned out it was. However, it can still happen to anybody. So before you start running, you gotta get a workup. You gotta get yourself checked out. Because if not, I don't know, something may happen to you. That happened to Paul. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. Like, it's so flippin' sad. I know it's been years, but, I miss the guy. He was a cool guy. So, even though we may lose our weight, you don't know what's going on in your arteries to see if they're blocked or not. That is something that I am well aware of. And I think a lot of us need to be aware of. Now, I'm sure there's tests that you can get done where they can, see inside. They can put dye in to figure out what's going on, if there's any blockages. Because if there's a blockage and a little piece of that plaque breaks off, that can travel all the way to your ticker. And if it hits your ticker, it's not a good thing. Or you may end up with blood clots or other things. Like, look, I'm no doctor. I don't know any of this stuff. I am just sharing my feelings and my experiences of what I've gone through. So I say that to you just to make sure that, we all get checked out, right? Make sure our ticker's okay and figure out if our veins and arteries are okay, I guess. Oh, it's hard. Just realized that my video went live today, and it's Thursday, and it wasn't supposed to go live until Sunday. So now I'm working on a video for Sunday, and it's Thursday. Hopefully I get this one out. This video right here, I think you will get a lot of benefit on if you're looking at trying to figure out how to run slow to run fast by using the Maffetone method. Like I say, get out and run.